The Democratic Republic of Congo has endured one of the most bloodthirsty, most devastating wars in Africa's history. Around 4 million people have died. Walikale, one of the busiest airstrips in Congo. They call this the Walikale Express. 15 or more planes in and out every day, pillaging $2 million worth of loot every week from a jungle outpost that's been at the heart of this deadly conflict. In these sacks, the mineral everyone's after, a red rock, cassiterite, better known as tin ore, the most traded metal on the London Exchange. The UN's here, but they don't venture far from base. Peacekeepers have never set foot in the mines. Yet it's the plundered ore that fuels the conflict by buying more guns. Civilians continue to die, 1,000 a day.
These are difficulties you are in the process of getting to know. Imagine with this vast territory, we have to walk through the bush, sleep wherever, be displaced, not eat, have nothing. It's really painful. But that's why we are working for our country. We must do everything possible to inspect every corner where mineral exploitation is happening.
Throughout the trek, we were to catch fleeting glimpses of government soldiers making their way towards the mine. At BCA, we were told, they are the predators. 4,000 porters ply this route, carrying sacks of rock heavier than they are. Each of their 50-kilogram packs of cassiterite is worth $400 on the world market. Government soldiers often force porters at gunpoint to carry the rocks free of charge. If they're lucky, though, they can make up to $5 a day. Prince was a merchant until the last marauding army burned and pillaged BCA and stole all he'd earned. Like everyone else, he had to start from scratch.
I'm exhausted. I am carrying 50 kilos. I have a wife and 2 children, but we don't earn much and we endure many hardships. Sometimes you end up with no pay at all. You could die along the way too. When you reach BCA, you will see the graves of porters like me.
Other porters are eager to share their tales of hell. Hundreds, they told me, had been killed in the last bout of fighting at BCA between crazed militias I'd not even heard of. Not one of them knew their cassiterite was destined for the electronics industry in the rich world. One man claimed he knew. It goes to America, he said, to rebuild the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. In the absence of any mine management, government soldiers rule here by gun law. By the time we'd got to the top, all the soldiers had removed their uniforms and hidden their guns. The miners don't work for money. The rocks the soldiers don't steal are traded for food. Most become deeply indebted to traders, who themselves get stuck here for months, able only to witness the horror of daily life here. The eastern border town of Goma, Congo's cassiterite capital, where there's a heavy UN presence, but no intervention in the mineral trade. Much of Walikale's ore is transported illegally across the border to Rwanda for international export. At first, it is washed, ground and sorted here. These trading houses are called comptoirs. Shwede Chisugi is a Congolese businessman who knows the trade inside out. Shwede himself may not feel there's any reason to be worried by our presence here, but others are. The global trade in tin is a secretive world. It's powerless, impoverished people at the mercy of other people's greed. Things are so dire here that there is no expectation that life will ever get any better. Congo's government can't control its own army or protect its own people. A people cursed by the riches under their feet.
We've been displaced several times and to several locations. The women, the mothers, they're suffering. And that's before you even start talking about the dead. The survivors live in a disastrous situation. It's precarious. Some live in the forest. Some haven't made it here and continue to suffer in the countryside. That's why we'd like to inform the world, to push them to come here to help us.
The ripple effects of the genocide in Rwanda still reverberate in the green hills of Kivu. A four-way civil war raging on here, even though they signed a ceasefire 2 months ago. It's killing 45,000 people every month, 1,500 a day, and half are children. This camp is called Chèvrerie. This man, a displaced person himself, has been keeping detailed records and says there are now 5,500 families here. There is one tap and no proper toilet. Bakulu came here with her mother and 6 children after her husband disappeared 4 months ago.
Our life here is pitiful. We have difficulties eating, we have difficulties sleeping. Finding wood to cook with is also a problem.
Nera came here with her 2-year-old son and a fortnight ago gave birth in this little grass hut to Amani, whose name means peace in Swahili. She explained how she'd sliced the umbilical cord with a shard of bamboo she'd snapped off the shack's roof.
They burned my house with all of my things in it. We watched it burn. We took nothing with us when we fled. Everything we owned was burned in the house.
The they she refers to belong to one of the wandering bands of militia who stalk the Kivu countryside and specialise in killing civilians. This lot belongs to a new group of rogue combatants called Pareko, a notoriously brutal Congolese gang allied to another bloodthirsty militia, this lot, the FDLR, who are themselves linked to the Hutu paramilitaries behind the genocide in next-door Rwanda 14 years ago. Complicated, but there's one common denominator. It's always civilians caught in the crossfire. These women have sneaked back into their abandoned village to visit the standpipe. With their jerry cans full, they head back into the forest. They've taken a huge risk doing this. Gang rape is now the most common weapon of war. The village of Kalembe, which those women had sneaked back into, is deserted other than some FDLR soldiers. The charity Médecins Sans Frontières has finally negotiated access and set up a mobile clinic here.
The people can't return home. If they do go back, their food will be stolen. Their women will be raped. They will be attacked. And what you see is the result.
The same rebels came into our village and started killing. There was shooting and guns and knives. And then suddenly I saw my father killed with a knife and my mother by a gun. I couldn't even contemplate what had happened, so I ran away. Just ran away as fast as I could. I lived in the bush around my village. That's where I was when the rebels raped and took me. I stayed with them for 9 months.
Today, the roaming civilians of Kivu shelter where they can. Those not in makeshift camps congregate around abandoned schoolrooms and in churches. There is visible fear and exhaustion on these faces. In some places, cholera outbreaks are being regularly reported due to dire sanitation and filthy water. Acute malnutrition is widespread in small children. Food supplies rarely make it through rebel lines. This month alone, more than 20,000 children will have died here from hunger and easily preventable diseases. The war in eastern Congo has reached an Orwellian permanence. It's gone on for so long, few can remember anything else. The brutal reality is that because no one outside eastern Congo feels threatened by conflict in this corner of hell, no one much cares what goes on here. Every attempt to bring peace has failed.
We live like apes, like monkeys. We make shelters for ourselves. We make them with leaves. They become our homes. The future is to die. It's dying because of all the problems. I was born during the problems. Today I'm 18 years old. As you can see, it's awful.
C'est grave.
Well, I mean, a year ago here in Aveba, this place was teeming with, people that had come back. And so less than 12 months later, the place is abandoned. You can't find a single civilian. It's pretty typical for this area because things shift very quickly with military operations.
If AIDC has reached there, they are there. They might, I'm not sure, they might have come across with Malaysia. They fired those rounds, and now they are burning those bushes, which might have been the hideout of that Malaysia.
They are misbehaving, harassing people, looting things from the population, raping women, and killing even people in different places. And this is a part of the problem also in Ituri.
Toyokani? Toyokani? Ok. Vous êtes là pour sécuriser la population civile et leurs biens. Ok? Ok.
Ça nettoie un grand fois. Si jamais qu'on réfectionnait, on allait même pas grave au M7. C'est ça. nos fiches ici. C'est un nombre de 32. Effectivement, c'est ça. Donc il ne faut pas nous en vouloir parce qu'il y avait des points. Attends.